What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Surviving in Alabama. Today, gonna talk about using animals to clear out underbrush, to clear out your land, to make it, to clean it up, clean it out, all the things. So typically people use goats to do that. I don't have goats. I've never liked keeping goats. I've had them a couple of times and it just always was not a pleasant experience for me. So what I have pigs. And so what I did was I made a pig tractor. Now, if you have any idea, if you watch these kinds of videos from other people, you know what a chicken tractor is. A chicken tractor is a mobile coop that you push along the ground and they'll get bugs and grubs and can scratch and eat up vegetation, and they can be a chicken. So, but what I do, I free range my chickens. I do have chicken tractors and I use them from time to time, but for my laying hens, they're just wild. So they do have a coop, which that's their coop right there, and I have a little door they come in and out. But a lot of people use electric fence. I have done that in the past, and I had to move them around with electric fence, and it was just a lot of trouble for me because I just do it by myself. I do have a family here, but they don't really help in that aspect. Sometimes they do if I really got to have some more hands, but for the most part, it's just me. So what I built was I built a pig tractor, and it's a mobile coop on wheels. And what I'm doing is I ran it through the power. I have a power line on my property, and I'm gonna plant that up for the deer. So I ran them up and down this power line for a few months, and so they could fertilize the ground, till up, break up the ground. And they, for the most part, they did a pretty good job at it, but now it's getting into fall. It is like September the 4th today, I think. And what I'm doing for the last few weeks, I've been running them in the woods, and acorns are gonna fall pretty soon. So when those acorns fall, that is gonna be free food for them. And at the same time, they're cleaning out. I have all these little pine trees that grow up, they're little seedlings, and they're cleaning them up. So I'm gonna take you along. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let's go see those pigs and see exactly how they're cleaning up the woods. Okay, this is my pig tractor right here. And these guys are, I think they're about 6 months old or so, maybe 7. So here, they're getting big and they're ready to be fed. So what this is an 8x16 mobile on wheels pig tractor. I do have an IBC tote in there that I've got a hole cut in there, but they just kick it around. They move it. They move it all around. They're climbers a little bit. They can't climb out, but they get up on their hind legs. But they'll get up in this house if they want to get out of the weather. I did have some shavings in there for them, and they just kicked it all out. So I may put some more shavings in there for them before wintertime. But they go in and out, and they just move it around all they want to. I do have on this pig tractor a mobile water. See, it's got a spout on the bottom, and it is time to water again. And I will do that here in just a little bit. It's not all the way empty, but I've got a gate on it. And since this right here is just a regular cyclone fence gate, and what they were doing was they were trying to push in on it. They're always pushing on stuff, scratching on stuff. So I ended up putting this cattle panel right here, and I just metal zip tied it to it, and that seems to be working pretty good. Now it is, see how I've got it, this right here, cattle panel sandwiched in between two 2x4s, and it's pretty stout. Right here, see, I've got double runners on the bottom. That's for strength and stability. And I've got the wheels sandwiched in between them with a bolt running through so it'll roll. And there's 6 wheels on it. So let me just show you what they are accomplishing through the woods here. So as you can see, there are little pine trees. Of course, I do have to rake all these leaves, but there's little pine trees all throughout here and some underbrush like this. It's not too terrible. Other spots on the property is a lot worse, but right here, see all this underbrush. I'm trying to keep it from growing up so bad. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the tractor and I'm pushing them through the woods probably every other day. I feel like there's gonna be a time to where I have to move them every day, because as they get bigger, it doesn't take them very long. Originally, when they were piglets, I was moving them about every 3 days. As you see, I got a bumper here. This is just a 6x6 board. I just leave it out here with it, and I use it for a bumper so I can push against it with the front end loader of the tractor and push it along, because this thing is heavy. I can't push it by hand. If it was on a street, like an asphalt or pavement or concrete that was flat, I could push it because it'll roll. It rolls real easy. But out here through the woods and uneven terrain, it's just too heavy. I can't push it. So I use the tractor. And that's my little tractor right there that I use. So I'll just walk along and show you what they've been doing. This right here is an area that they have been, and some of it's actually started to grow back. See this right here, this is new growth right here. It's coming back. But some of it, you know, the deer will browse off. There are deer that walk through here. Right here is where they've been in most recent. I'm pushing them along and up through here, and I'm just trying to clean all this up and keep it from growing back underbrush. So I'm about to move them. I'm gonna move them, I'm gonna turn them a little bit, and I've got to use the tractor to push on them, and I'll turn it up and go and push them that way, because this area where they are, I think it's done. So this is what it looks like. They've made a barren spot out of it, which is good. Now, if you know who Joel Salatin is, and if you don't, please go look him up. He's an author, a speaker, all the things. He's kind of considered the father of the homesteader movement as far as like chicken tractors and mobile pen farming. He's like the dude. He knows his stuff. So if you don't know who that is, go look him up, Joel Salatin. And he's written several books. I think one of them was called like The Lunatic Farmer. And another one he wrote, I think, is Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. So he's on the right side of stuff. All right, so he uses pigs to clean out underbrush too. And what he does is he'll take a dense forest and he'll fence it off with electric fencing and put them in there and leave them for like 2 weeks or however long he leaves them in there. I think it has to do with, you know, how many pigs there are, how big a spot it is, but I think he needs to move them about every 2 weeks or so, and they will just clean it up. And so this is kind of a hybrid of that scenario. I'm using them, but I don't have electric, and I'm undercover. As you can see, I don't have enough. I've got enough canopy here that I don't get enough solar to put a solar charger. I guess I could run it out to the edge out there and run a wire, but for me, it's just me by myself with no help for the most part. I'm just not willing to do that. So I built this really strong pen in place of that. Now, I'm not opposed to using solar power and electric fencing. I think that's great. I have done that before. It worked fine. But this right here was just an easy way for me to do it. All right, so I'm about to crank this tractor up, and I'm gonna push them around, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'm moving it around. Now, if you don't have if you built something similar to this, and you don't have a tractor, a rope or chains, and maybe a truck could do it. Maybe a four-wheeler or side-by-side you could push it or pull it with. I think that would work. But the tractor it's just easy for me. So, you know, a skid steer will go through and mulch up the land. Well, that's what I'm using these pigs for. They're kind of like a pig skid steer, but they're alive. Or they're doing it the natural way, I guess. So I'm gonna crank this tractor and let's go. Okay, as you can see, I moved them from here to there. I'm just moving them the length of the pin. I'm not trying to move them a long distance. They literally move 16 to 20 feet every time, and that's it. So these two live skid steer pigs are cleaning up my woods, and all it's costing me is just a few minutes every other day right now. And sometime in the wintertime, they will be going to freezer camp. So in essence, I'm going to be eating my skid steer. So they will provide food for my family. And one of these is going to my neighbor. So one for my neighbor, one for me. And we're going to be eating on them probably for the most part of a year. So now I got to go get my water barrel and get these guys watered, and I'll show you exactly how I do that. So what I do is I put this barrel that I have, see this Gorilla Tape right here? I got this hose right here, and it's laying down in the bottom, and I just siphon it out. So what I got to do, I have to put this little strap on there, which is some mule tape. I just tie it on. If I don't do that, this will tip around and stuff like that, and I spill a bunch, and I have dumped it off the front and had to go refill the barrel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this barrel up with water, and then I'm gonna go and siphon it off into the pig barrel. While I'm waiting on the water to fill up the barrel, I'm gonna collect some eggs. I'll leave that golf ball in there. She's not gonna be happy because I'm gonna reach up in there. Okay. All right. You're good. I didn't mean to mess you up. And none in there. So that's what I got. I'm just using my t-shirt to hold it. Now, if you were to try to do something like this at your house, and you wanted to clear out some land using pigs or even goats, but to carry water, you could use a side-by-side, even a golf cart, but you probably wouldn't be able to carry as much as I'm doing, because that barrel of water, it's heavy. So it'd probably be better to try to use 5-gallon buckets. So use like maybe 4 or 5-gallon buckets, get 20 gallons at a time, keep them filled up. I think that would work. However, if you have a big tractor and you got multiple pins, you know, absolutely, on some of the bigger tractors, you could put 2 or 3 barrels all at one time and do this. It's done. Cut this water off so I'm not being wasteful. That's my little hydrant right there. This is city water. One day, I really want to drill a well here. So I want to get off that city water. The pressure stinks anyway. I don't know what kind of chemicals they're putting in it. I have no idea. But I just know that if I had my own water, I'd be a little more self-sufficient, and I know the water would be better. I always spill a little bit, but I need to measure y'all. Y'all are getting big. Yeah, y'all are getting big. Y'all are getting real big. Yeah, I know. They're a little bit skittish of me. Not too bad. I don't really pet them all the time. I just come out here and take care of them. But every now and then I'll pet them a little bit. I just don't want them to be so skittish that, you know, their hormones will be racing when I go to take them. So I have thought about processing these guys myself, but look at them foaming. You know, when a pig foams up like that, what that is a hormone releasing, and it's a sign that they think food's coming. So their mouth foams up. So just something I learned since I've been raising pigs. And I started raising pigs in 2015. That's how long it's been. Almost 10 years. On and off. Not every year though. I went a few years break because we moved and I got a new place here. We've been here 4.5 years. Yeah. See? She's letting me pet her. Yeah. Okay, so what I do is I take that barrel and I just raise it up high. And this little bitty tractor, you know, it doesn't have a long reach. So that right there is as high as it goes, which is about 7 feet, I think, something like that. 6 feet to the bottom right there. So the very top is over 7, I think. But I raise it up high like that, and I got the hose in there, and then I take the hose right here, and then I just siphon it out. So, got to do it the old-fashioned way. Although I think I could take a little pump and probably put on it, but this works just fine. It doesn't take but a second. So now I got good pressure. I just take the hose and I just stick it in there like that, and then we'll fill this barrel up. You can see right there, there's the water line right there. We'll just fill it all the way up, and the excess, because this barrel's bigger, I'm gonna take the excess and I'm just gonna spray it on them and cool them off and give them a little waller to wallow in. They really like it when I spray them down with water. I don't know about y'all, but pigs are my favorite homestead animal. Of course, I like my chickens, don't get me wrong. I keep chickens all the time. I don't keep pigs all the time. But they are just fun to mess with because you can get a lot of meat out of them. They're very personable. They're kind of like a dog. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, these are just feeder pigs, by the way. I'm not doing a farrow operation anymore. I have done that in the past. And since it's just, you know, it's just us. We don't need all that meat. So 1 a year, maybe 2 at the most. And so so as soon as these are gone, I'm going to get some new piglets, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I just like messing with them. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, could I train a pig to do anything? Never tried that in the past, but I thought, I was like, okay, what if I could do just a basic 1 or 2 dog commands and get them to do it? So future videos, maybe next year, we're going to try that. Okay, this is done. Still got good pressure. Let's spray these guys down. Or these are actually girls, but you know what I'm saying. Wet her down. And so what I'm doing is I make just wet the ground here. They just really, really like that. Wet their backs down. It's not hot today. I think the high today is only like 75 or something. I don't really know. It's something like that, but it's not hot. It's probably hot where you live. I just don't know. But at least here, it's pretty mild. We're here in central Alabama. Look at that. They just really like it. They kind of shake like a dog. Okay. I showed you the pen. I showed you the pigs. I showed you what they're clearing the land. They're cleaning up this property and keeping it clean for me. And I'm doing it the organic way. They're kind of like a live skid steers, I guess. And they're going to be meat for the family in the future. Showed you how I watered them. Hey, I really appreciate y'all coming along and watching anything I do. It's just amazing that just any of y'all watch this mess that I make. So I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. God bless.